Hi. I thought I'd talk to you today about an email I received on a question on perfection. And the question says, maybe perfection is a state of mind as opposed to a condition or an observation. Maybe I'm looking for perfection when I should be concerned more with how I interpret my existence. Can I only interpret things that happen in my life with the filter of how similar occurrences have affected me in the past? To do so is the basis for survival and evolution of the species on the planet, and what sets us apart from the rest on Earth. Well, it's true. We do learn from our past, and we do accumulate information so that we can make wiser decisions in the future. But not only do we accumulate information that serves us, but we also accumulate information that is false. And based on false evidence, many have said, false evidence appearing real, which is an acronym for fear. Lots of things happen in our lives. How we perceive them is our choice. We can have a variety of circumstances happen and a variety of people being present in those circumstances, and each individual will take from that according to their perception. Here's an example. I was in class last night and somebody was sharing about an individual who survived the camps during the Hitler era and the Nazi generation. And what happened was, what he observed was those who were in service, no matter how desolate the situation appeared, those who were in service and who found a way to give good were the ones who survived, were the ones who made it through with the most sane mind. And so, yeah, that was just a telephone call. And so we can approach life, all life, with the same. We give of ourselves in a way that makes our heart sing. We're not expected to. We don't have to. It's not to be a good person that we give of ourselves. It's to be part of the feedback loop of life. When we give of ourselves, life gives back to us. That's life operating in perfection. That's the flow of nature in the world. Does that make sense? It says here, I know there is nothing I can do to change the past. True. It is gone forever. Absolutely. The past is only now a memory in our mind. And each person interprets the past according to their own perception. Two siblings can be involved in an event together, and they will have a totally different story about what happened in the event. The past is, and how we interpret the past is an illusion. It doesn't have power over us. I do feel I can learn, in brackets, because he says, because we don't always really learn from the past. I do feel I can learn from the past. Well, we can accumulate information, absolutely. I react to situations based on personal experience, all while I consider my wishes for the future, for there are things from the past that affect the future. Yes, that's the law of cause and effect. That which I do today affects the outcome of tomorrow. Absolutely. I still can't change actions that I've already performed. They're no longer in my control or in my power. Again, they're in a past, they are a memory, and what I do with that memory is totally dependent on my choice. Then they go on to say, just to call me perfect and that I am perfection in action seems incredibly naive. I like this. It goes on. This is great. I don't feel perfect. I don't feel perfect because I'm bad at appreciating what it took to get me this far. The universe is perfection. And everything that we see, everything that surrounds us, that is us, is part of this perfection. Perfect doesn't mean our human perception of good or bad or perfect or imperfect. I got an A on my report card. I got 85 out of 100 on my test. That's a human interpretation of perfection. As a matter of fact, they have IQ tests, and depending on where you're from, depends on the IQ test that they use. Because intelligence is totally dependent on our environment from a human perspective. But we're infinitely intelligent. Absolutely. So they go on to say, just consider this for a moment. Physicists and cosmologists figured the universe has been expanding from 6.6 billion years now. Galaxies and stars have formed and died, providing vital building blocks for other galaxies. And the formation of solar systems and planets. Galaxies are pulled together by gravity, thereby destroying each other in the process. Black holes form, sucking up all matter for billions of kilometers in each direction. For anyone to be standing on the present-day Earth drawing a single breath literally means they have survived certain death and won life's lottery virtually millions of times in succession. The intelligence that pulls all of that together is the intelligence of life right here, whether it be grand or small. They've taken microscopes and they have gone into the depths of the cell and determined that all they find is space, and that they say there's strings of information, and that these strings are identical and affected by vibration. That's it. There's nothing. This substance which we call life is part of an infinite expression, and it is perfect. How could this plant not be perfect? To me, in its imperfections, it's perfect. The smell is amazing. It's lavender. I think. Oh, it's brilliant. And so when we choose to see the brilliance of life around us, that brilliance reflects back to us as our lives. It's important that we separate our human idea of perfect from the infinite idea of perfection. If it wasn't perfect, you're right, we wouldn't be here breathing. There would be chaos everywhere, and there isn't. So I don't support the word perfection outside of whatever supreme being is directing all this. There's no supreme being. It's just life. Life is an infinite continuum. It is beyond time and space. We are so narrowed in our vision by our experience of humanity as time and space that we've lost the truth. We're so removed from the truth that we have come to a perception of life being just this human experience, just this body, just this beating of my heart. Life is so much more than that. And that me sitting here on this rock affect the dog across from me, and the cat behind me, and the horse in the lawn in front of me, and the chickens over here beyond the fence, and that my life is not independent on its own, singular, but that my life by its very existence affects all life. And so we're all interconnected that way. That this plant but grew all summer for me to have this opportunity to smell it and to talk to you about it. And that it waited in repose for this perfect opportunity. It's all this perfection, all interwoven, and that there is no supreme being waving a wand, casting some magical formula. It is life upon life upon life, expansive in all dimensions and all creations, that there is nothing separate from, and that there are ripples of vibration that extend beyond where I am and where you are.